Hi everyone and welcome to the Guy Stuff Show. I'm your host Jeremy. Today we're going to learn how to hang a curtain rod and a curtain. Now maybe you've never done this before, you're curious about how to do it. It's really simple. First thing we're going to do, let's take a look at the tools that we need. We need a few things for this project. A drill, some drill bits, a tape measure, some drywall anchors, the screws to go with the anchors, the screwdrivers to go with the screws, a curtain rod, and the brackets to go with it. Now the first thing we want to do is determine where we are going to put the brackets for our curtain rod. You're going to want the end brackets a little bit out past the edge of the window because the curtains will actually butt up against the brackets. Now when you've determined where you want your two outside brackets, simply measure between the two, and that will help you determine your center line. Simply take the measurement, divide it by 2, and that's where your center bracket is going to sit. So all you need to do is measure from one mark that you've made for an outside bracket, doesn't matter which one, towards your center. You use your center measurement that you determined a few minutes ago, and you simply mark your center line. Now once you've got your center line marked, you also want to think about how high you want the curtains. You're going to kind of measure up to the ceiling here. Maybe get someone to hold them for you, maybe get your cat to help. And hold the curtains, figure out where they need to sit so they don't touch the heater. So once you've got that determined, simply measure from the ceiling and make your mark, and you can do that for all 3 marks. Line up your centers and your heights on all 3, and go ahead and drill some holes for some anchors. Once you've got your holes marked, simply take your drill and using a pilot bit, which is a fairly small bit, it's a lot easier to control to get your hole started. Simply drill the marks that you made, and once you've got the pilot hole drilled, you can go ahead and switch your bit out for the size of bit that you actually want, which you'll do determine by kind of holding your bit up against the anchor you want to use. You want the bit to be a little bit smaller so that you have to push the anchor in and maybe hit it with the hammer to get it to really bite into the drywall. So once you've got the bigger hole drilled, you can just go ahead and grab an anchor and put it into the hole you've made. Now if you've drilled it the right size, it should be difficult to push all the way in. I've got it drilled so I need to tap it a little bit with the hammer to get it to set all the way into the drywall. Now you can go ahead and grab your bracket, the screw that goes with the drywall anchor, and the screwdriver that you need for the screw. Simply place the bracket on the wall with the top hole over the drywall anchor. Start your screw, the one that came with the drywall anchor, and just go ahead and start threading it in. It should go in fairly easy into the anchor. They're made to go together. Once you get it nice and snug, now you don't have to be too snug, just so that it's not going to move. You can actually see how much strength that drywall anchor has just with the top hole. Now one thing I just wanted to mention quickly here is that you don't really need 2 drywall anchors for each curtain rod bracket. One's going to do in the very top. Don't worry about putting the bottom one in. It'll have lots of strength. Now just install the bottom screw for the bracket, and as I said before, there's no need for an anchor here. Just go ahead and screw it right into the drywall. And as before, there's no need to get too snug, but you want to make sure that it's biting well into the drywall. When it comes to actually hanging the curtain, that's quite simple, but there's a few things that I would like to point out. First thing you want to do, just put your curtain rod up, make sure it fits in the brackets so that everything looks good. Now you're going to want to take your curtain and hang it. One thing you'll notice on a lot of the prepackaged curtains with the rings on it is they have a good side and a bad side. The good side on this one is smooth, and the bad side has some rivet looking things in it. You can tell it's the bad side. So we want the good side facing out. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you want the ends of your curtains, you want them pointing in towards the window. So while you're threading it on the rod, make sure you keep that in mind. And simply alternate back and forth which way the ring goes on the rod. Bad side on, good side on, bad side on, good side on. It's pretty straightforward, you get the idea. And then once you've got them all threaded on, that's one panel totally done. Simply hang your curtain rod back up and go ahead and grab your second panel. The second panel is exactly the same as the first panel, but it's on the other side. Now, if you want to make your life a little bit easier, there's a good chance that you've got a extendable curtain rod to fit different size windows. Simply push that in. You don't have to reach as far to get your second panel on. And then as soon as you're done putting your panel on, all you have to do is extend it back out, and you can hang your curtain. Once the panel's on, put the rod back up, extend it back out, and you've got a curtain rod up. Now another thing to keep in mind, chances are your curtain rod brackets have some set screws. Just grab a hold of them and tighten them up by hand. It doesn't have to be too tight, but this will hold the curtain rod in place when you're moving the curtains back and forth. Once you've got the set screws tightened, make sure that your curtains slide along the curtain rod, close them up, take a look, see if you like it. And there we go, another successful project done. Alright, and that is it. That was simple, quick, and something that you can do to really change the look of a room, especially when you first move into a new place and you need something up quick. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff. Check out my Facebook and Twitter in the description below. Take care.